Let's go. Ready?
Alright, ready to go? Yoji! 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 Yoji, no!
Hello and welcome to the Natural Pet Health segment of the Health and Wellness Show. Today we are going to talk again about emergency situations, since in the last show we couldn't cover them all due to technical difficulties. So what signs your pets could have that could indicate to you that you have to take your pet to the vet ASAP? First of all, it's important to remember that our furry members of the family can talk, at least not in the way we can always understand. Therefore, it's vital to observe your pet on a daily basis and know their usual behavior in order to be able to see that something is wrong. It's also important in order to give accurate and as extensive as possible information to your veterinarian. Also, just like with humans, if they have allergies or any medical sensitivities, or if you already gave them any medicine, it's also very important to mention it. Also, if you aren't sure, refrain from giving your pet so-called human medicine, like aspirin, for example. It may not be lethal for dogs, but cats like enzyme critical for metabolizing salicylic acid, the active ingredient of aspirin, properly. And the resulting symptoms can range from simply scary, like tremors or foaming, and up to loss of conscience and death. In future shows, I will make sure to give you a list of basic first aid things you should keep in your house, but for now remember that it's best to call your vet and receive initial help over the phone instead of doing something yourself. Okay, so what are the main signs you should pay attention to? Pale gums or gums that have a bluish or yellowish color. Pale gums may indicate anemia due to hemorrhaging, low body temperature, low blood pressure, poisoning, and other reasons. Normal color of the gums should be pink or light pink. If the gums have already bluish color, it's a symptom of asphyxiation, meaning that there is less oxygen in the blood than it should be. It can be coupled with respiratory distress or a heart event, so don't hesitate to pick up the phone to your vet. Yellowish color of gums, as many of you probably guessed, has to do with liver. Usually it is present in animals with chronic liver diseases and only visible when already more than 50% of the liver was damaged. So if you see your pet being suddenly yellow all over, it could be a sign of ingesting toxins and poisons. Another sign is rapid or labored breathing. Just like with humans, hyperventilation in pets can be rather alarming, both to the owners and the animals. There could be several reasons like stress, fearful event, or maybe metabolic acidosis. In any case, there is a need to bring your pet to the vet for a thorough checkup of the lungs and heart. Another symptom that could be is a weak or rapid pulse. Now, since companion animals we usually share our homes with are smaller than us, their pulse will be faster than what is normal for us. This fact is important to keep in mind before thinking that something is wrong. And the younger the animals are, or the smaller the breed is, the faster their pulse. For example, for large breed dogs, normal pulse is 70-80 beat per minute, small breeds 80-120, and for puppies, it's normal to have a pulse of 180 or 200. Cats have a faster pulse of 110 up to 130, and kittens can have a pulse of 230 up to 260. And as it turns out, rats have the rapidest pulse of 450-550. That's why it's important to get to know your animal and their vital signs during rest. Not in exact numbers, but at least to be able to notice what is normal for them and when it is suddenly different and doesn't change for some time. Another sign that you can notice is a change in body temperature. The same is with body temperature. Our pets usually have higher body temperature than ours. That's why they are so comfy during winter evenings. So keep that also in mind before thinking that your pet is sick. For dogs, normal body temperature ranges between 37.5 Celsius up to 39.5 Celsius. And for cats, normal temperature is 38 Celsius up to 39.5 Celsius. Notice that in our case, it would be an indication of being sick with inflammation, but both for dogs and cats, it's normal. If it's higher than this, then it may be an indication of inflammation. And if lower than this, it can be an indication of poisoning, although now more and more vets say that this particular indicator isn't that cut and dry. In any case, lower body temperature is much more dangerous than higher, so pay attention to it, especially in cases of blood loss or other emergency cases. In such cases, and after talking with a vet over the phone, you may need to warm up your pet's body with bottles filled with hot water, for example, already while on the way to the vet. Another symptom is excessive bleeding. There is a new generation of sophisticated rat poisons that have anti-clotting effect, meaning that after ingesting poison, it interferes with production of blood clotting enzyme in the liver. So this poison is particularly insidious because it takes several days to kick in and for the effects to appear. And in many cases, it is already too late. That's why it's super important to pay attention to what your dog, and this is mainly dog's problem, is picking up from the ground. If you suspect that your pet has eaten something poisoned, call the vet and buy vitamin K1 just as a precaution. You may not need it, but you may help someone else in similar situation. There can be other reasons for excessive bleeding too, so keep that in mind. Another very important sign is bloating. Bloating can be a life-threatening symptom for dogs, especially large breeds like German Shepherd, Labrador Retriever, Irish Wolfhound, Boxer, Irish Setter, Collie, Bloodhound, Standard Poodle, and others. Bloating can happen due to two main reasons. The first is gastric dilatation, in which the stomach descends with gas and fluid. The second is volvulus, in which this distended stomach rotates on its long axis. The spleen is attached to the wall of the stomach and therefore rotates with it. Gastric dilatation may or may not be complicated by volvulus. If volvulus occurs, the stomach may twist 180 degrees or less. Technically, it's called a torsion. An actual volvulus is a twist of 180 degrees up to 360 degrees or more. If this happens, you must be quick, because realistically speaking, your dog has very little time to be saved. What complicates matters even more, that sometimes bloat isn't the first symptom. There may be other symptoms that were mentioned before, coupled with your dog becoming either very restless or very lethargic. It can happen after a meal or after a physical activity, so again, pay attention to your animal and what they are doing. Now, other signs that require your immediate attention include various neurological and other symptoms like apparent paralysis, loss of consciousness, seizures, staggering, stumbling, head tilting, sudden blindness, severe hives or severe itching, prolonged vomiting or diarrhea with blood, or just repeated violent episodes of vomiting and diarrhea. Many serious diseases begin with vomiting and diarrhea. It can lead to severe dehydration and shock, so please take your pet to the vet. Another symptom is inability to urinate or defecate. Your pet may appear to be straining due to constipation, but it could be more serious. Frequent attempts to urinate that don't produce a normal urine flow could indicate infection or obstruction, especially in male cats. This can lead to uremic poisoning and death. Another symptom is inability to deliver puppies or kittens. If your pregnant dog or cat has gone more than 3 to 4 hours between delivering puppies or kittens, call your vet. Well, there are many other signs and other things to pay attention to, but hopefully now you are in a better position to help your pet in case of emergency. So I think that this is it for this segment, and thank you for listening and have a great day.